Good evening and welcome to the week one review of the 20 Premier League podcast. I am Karl as your host. We got some loads of games to talk about this weekend, including the promoted clubs. Sunderland being back after 8 seasons away from the Premier League. They played against West Ham. We'll discuss that shortly as well. Leeds also returned after 2 seasons away. They played against Everton last night, and Burnley faced their trip away after being away from the Premier League on the Saturday's game to Spurs as well. We'll also talk about the title contenders of their results this past weekend. Liverpool was at home to Bournemouth. They were the first game on Friday night, as well as Man City, against Wolves as well, and Man United against Arsenal. We'll look at all the other results as well from the other weeks as well. And we'll also talk about the latest transfer news as well as the VAR controversy that we've had this past weekend. But we've got my co-host tonight, the usual sidekick, Mr. Douglas on. Doug, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, another week in the Premier League, and it's just started where it's left off, really.
Very much so. Other than that, how was your weekend? I see you donning your Liverpool shirt on as usual. So yeah, how result wise was good weekend, a good weekend for you boys as well, despite the how both come back, which we'll discuss later on.
Yeah, obviously overshadowed by an incident, which I think we will get to. I've got a lot to say on that. And I was at Livingston Hibs at the weekend. Unlucky to to go to that one, but Hibs deserved to win. But no, apart from that, it was a good weekend. Kind of chilled out, really. So but I'm glad to be back on here tonight. And as we were obviously saying backstage, um, it's possibly going to be probably a Tuesday going forward, I think, because just to sort of go away from obviously like Monday night football, etc. But obviously, if there's no Monday night games, then we will obviously move to a Monday. But
Absolutely.
I think probably going forward, it's probably going to be a Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Yep, absolutely, dude. I couldn't agree more with that as well. So, and like I said, please subscribe to my channel here at the Total Leaving Home Football Podcast, as well as Doug's channel at the Dugout Football channel. So please subscribe to his channel as well. And also, we will be uploading this on my podcast services as well after this show as well. This will be the first review on the show after I've uploaded the championship review. So please look at all of our socials as well too. But we've got not just but one guest, though, but two guests. So I'll let you introduce our first guest.
Yes, one of the few Arsenal fans that I actually really like, and he's like a brother to me. It's Mr. Albert Umoh from Albert J TV. How are you, Albert?
Yeah, not bad. I appreciate the invite, man. And like I said, Doug, you're one of the few Liverpool fans that I like, man. I've got time for, man. So, I appreciate the invite, man. Plenty to talk about.
Absolutely.
No, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
And we've got another guest joining as well. He's a Man United fan. He's always been me, Doug's friend for a long time. He's one of us, but we love him despite he's a Man U fan as well. But he's one of the few Man United fans I get along with quite well. It's good evening to Andy Rogers. Andy, good evening.
Evening, boys. How you doing?
Good. Very well, thank you.
Yeah, good, mate.
Very good. Briefly, you happy with what the performance this weekend despite the loss?
Yeah, man. I was at work when the game was on, but someone, an Arsenal fan in work, had a stream of the game on, so we were all sort of running about, keeping an eye on it. I thought we were excellent. Happens when David Raya's putting in those performances. That's why he's got that number one jersey at Arsenal. And people are moaning about the goal that Arsenal scored. I don't know. I'm not going to moan about it. Especially when you've got a goalkeeper who's a bitch.
Well, we will delve more into that shortly, Andy. We'll delve more into shortly with that. Absolutely. So
Brown was excellent. Cunha was brilliant. You can tell with her time in the training ground and that. And obviously, my Scottish lot, I've had some week as being a Hibs fan as well. So
Yeah, absolutely as well. Everyone who's joining in us in the channel, please send your messages both to Albert, to Andy. We will answer your questions as well. I just want to say hello to us. We'll pop it on the screen as well. So let's get on to the promoted clubs. 2 out of the 3 promoted teams did get their first win in the Premier League at the start of the new season. We start off with Sunderland winning 3-0 against West Ham, actually, and this was a result which was unexpected. We did expect it. Everyone thought it was going to be maybe tough for Sunderland, but Doug, I'm surprised how that Stadium Light fan, the Raw, really came into play for Sunderland to win 3-0.
Terrific start to the season for Sunderland. It wasn't really a surprise to me. I had a feeling through sort of the week there that I had a feeling Sunderland might win that game. And I think when you look at the performance of some players in that Sunderland side, I have to say it's nice to see sort of their old rear guard scoring. Like obviously you've got Mayenda, you've got Ballard, and obviously you've got Isidore. Safe to say, Hermansen didn't have his best game in a West Ham jersey. That was his debut, of course. So, but what a huge win that is for Sunderland to begin the season at home against what you could probably call as a relegation rival. I would say I think West Ham are in big trouble this season. I think when you look at their squad, haven't really strengthened. The only signings I can really see is sort of the Kyle Walker-Peters, obviously Hermansen, the goalkeeper, Cal Molson. Is that signings to sort of get to whet your appetite almost? It doesn't really sort of strike me at this moment in time. So I would be very concerned if I was a West Ham supporter right now. I really would. But Sunderland, fantastic win, and just goes to show that they're giving it a real go in this transfer window. They're giving it a real go, and I really like what I'm seeing from them. Maybe people might say it's too many signings, etc., but I think they're doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. The goals from Eze Mayenda, Dan Ballard, they were the 3 players who were part of that promotion of the, to get, especially Dan Ballard to score that with the equaliser against Coventry in the semi-finals. And yeah, I mean, it's such a fantastic team. The way they've bought the players, especially people question them. Is it a risk to to spend a lot of money on Diarra, and getting Matt Gould on loan, I mean, but it looked like that gamble paid off on Saturday with the counter attack they did against West Ham as well, actually, and it doesn't surprise me at all. And actually, we do have a video from Mr. Michael Bowles himself. He actually talked about this past weekend of the result as well. So let's see what he said in the next couple of minutes as well. So I will just get that up for it right now.
Thanks very much to Karl and Doug for having this clip on the 20, which is going to be a really good show across the season, talking about the 20 Premier League clubs and all the games that are going on in between, and well, here, there, everywhere, and everywhere in between. So thanks very much for this, and yeah, subscribe to Karl's channel and to Doug's channels, both excellent content creators. But yeah, I thought I'd give my quick thoughts on Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. Obviously, I think the sentiment and the momentum of the occasion, I think, was obviously a big factor. That obviously, I mean, not completely dictated in the results, but it was a factor nonetheless that it was Sunderland's first game back in the Premier League for 8 seasons now, which again, for a club the size of Sunderland, I'm sure Karl and Doug would both agree is not good enough for Sunderland. But either way, that's happened. We can't erase it from history now. But yeah, I mean, the first half was quite cagey. I think you could see from when West Ham got going, because West Ham didn't actually play too badly in the first half. When you can see when West Ham got going a bit, that the quality is just a different level altogether, isn't it? And we've obviously been made about the gap between the Premier League and the Championship, but I think a lot of it does come down to the recruitment of the promoted sides, and Leeds and Burnley will find this out as well as Sunderland over the course of the season. But yeah, West Ham, obviously, when they got the ball going together, they had some good intricate passing. There's some quick triangle movements. Jarrod Bourne was really good. We obviously had a shot cleared off the line from Dan Ballard. Obviously, Jarrod Bourne had a shot earlier in the game that forced Robin Roos into a save. But Sunderland equally had a really good chance with a lot less possession when Habib Diarra manages to burst through into the box and shoot straight at Matt Hermansen in the West Ham goal. So for half time, I would say 0-0 was probably about right. But then second half, and I think West Ham were toothless in the second half. But I think once Sunderland got to grips with the game, we were easily the better team. And maybe 3-0 slightly flattering. I'd maybe say 2-0 was probably about fair. But at the same time, though, what you've got to bear in mind is like and again, the momentum, the raucousness of the occasion, the crowd, the stadium of light crowd when it gets going can be. There's not many teams in this country that I think can match the atmosphere Sunderland fans can create. And it's a shame because I don't think our fans do it often enough really at home. But maybe that's a home ground thing in general. But either way, I mean, if you go back and listen to, like, say, the 5 Live commentary, the match of the day highlights, the stadium was loud. Like, every time Sunderland scored, it was some of the loudest I've ever heard the fans celebrate a goal. And I think a part of that was just the sort of restlessness or the energy of having the negative energy being released, if you like, having been in League One for 4 seasons, having been out of the Premier League for 8 seasons, after everything that's been going on. And for me, I think I think the win was utterly deserved, and I think it was the start of the Premier League could not have gone any better. Even at half time, I said that I would have took a draw actually, but there you go. We end up getting a 3-0 win. Look, we have to not get carried away. Get excited over the result, of course. And after watching us play, with all due respect to these teams, Cheltenhams, your Morecambs, your Gillinghams, your Fleetwoods, your Accrington Stanleys, and the Burton Albions in League One, I think it's safe to say that I think our fans deserve a bit of excitement after all we've been through. But yeah, point I'm making is that after all that, we can enjoy the result, but make sure we balance it with not getting carried away and remembering it is a long old season. There's still 37 games to go. The aim is still 17th. We need to make sure we stay up this season. But the next couple of games are massive. Burnley away on Saturday and then Brentford at home the following week. And if we can get good results in them too, then it's a really cracking start to life back in the Premier League. But more than anything, it just gives us a bit of wiggle room in case when we have a wobble later on in the season. But as far as first games go, couldn't have gone any better than that. Sunderland 3, West Ham United 0. Get in there.
Thank you, Michael, for giving you a short clip on your match review after the win this weekend. And Albert, I'm going to come to you, especially West Ham's in the capital city, not far from you guys. Were you surprised of the lackluster performance they had in the second half, or how Sunderland just counter-attacked them quite effectively?
No, I agree with Doug. I actually wasn't surprised by the result at all. Graham Potter's come in there, and usually you get a manager bounce and the new manager comes in. West Ham have not had that since he's come there. They've had very few wins that you might face, turn around the corner. They actually beat us at they beat us at the Emirates when he came there, so it was ideal. But I'm not surprised. But if you actually look at West Ham, they've got some good players there, but I look at some of the managers they've had, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure they've got many of the appointments right. Lopetegui was not universally liked at all when he brought there. Potter, you could probably, I don't know, maybe 50-50 the West Ham fans. I'd have to speak to some of them, but I wasn't surprised by the result, to be honest with you. As the Sunderland guy said, there may be 3-0 flattered them a bit, but they're going to have a long season. And fair play to Sunderland, because we saw what Nottingham Forest done a few years ago in terms of spending a lot, bring a lot of players in, which I don't think Sunderland have got to that level, but they've given themselves a chance. And I think the signing of all their signings, I think they bought Masuaku as well. But
yeah,
the Xhaka signing, I did not see that coming. I mean, it's unbelievable, to be honest with you. And obviously, he's been made captain as well, which I think is a good move from the manager. He brings experience, and when you win the first game of the season, Karl, it's massive, man. Leeds had it yesterday. Burnley, they're going to have it tough, the promoted sides. And but yeah, Sunderland, we'll see what they can do. So the first, I always give it a barometer, the first sort of 2 months of the season. I think you've got a good 8-9 games in there, and then you see how the team's set up. But yeah, great start, great 3 points. And for West Ham fans, but I know one very, very well in Lawless. I think he gave up his season ticket off it for the season. But yeah, they're going to have a long season, West Ham.
They are indeed. And Andy, you see what Graham Potter is trying to do, but are you surprised how difficult he's still not settled in, and especially with the transfer sign, just as Albert was saying, the person's in charge of that now is David Sullivan, who's the co-owner of West Ham. Are you surprised how the side has just been not good enough?
I'm not surprised at West Ham. I don't think any of the signings have been good enough. Callum Wilson, really, 33, barely played for Newcastle for the last 2-3 years. They signed that left back Juve, Kyle Walker-Peters. He's not bad going forward, but he's awful defensively. And trying to think who else they've signed. I'm just not surprised. I'm not surprised Sunderland went through them. Sort of cagey first half, and then they scored the first one, and the backsides fall out for West Ham. And I've seen the highlights. I was just not shocked. I mean, West Ham, as Albert was saying, they'd done United at Old Trafford last year as well under Potter, and you're going, how's it went from that to that? But the West Ham fans don't know what they want. This is the whole thing they done the last time with David Moyes, letting David Moyes go, and the West Ham way.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying, Albert.
Yeah.
You've done a lot more than us. This whole West Ham way. What is the West Ham way? Right, because all that minus the Conference League win, 2-3 years ago, right? They've just been a yo-yo club. Is that the West Ham way?
Probably is.
And do you know what it is? I think, and it's not an excuse, but that move to that London stadium, I think that sucked the soul out of him, man. Because it's I've been there for watching athletics meet. You're not going to get any atmosphere. You're just not. Is that I think that day they moved to that stadium, not great.
Yeah, I mean it took you years to do it at the Emirates.
Yeah,
still kind of. Not that I've been there, but
we have our moments. Yeah, we have our moments.
Still feels a bit soulless to me.
Yeah, very much so. It is soulless. Do you expect the rest? Go on, Andy.
Upton Park was like a cheat code for them for points. No team wanted to go to Upton Park.
No, they didn't. So they didn't want to go to Upton Park. Yeah, it absolutely is. Do you expect West Ham, all of us expect West Ham to be that relegation battle this season?
Yeah. Yes. I think they're in big trouble. I think when you look at the teams who have came up, I think when you look at the size that could be in and around it. I said actually on one of my prediction videos this week, or I think it was the actual Premier League predictions, I said there will be at least 6 clubs in the relegation battle. The 3 promoted clubs, I think Brentford, West Ham, and Wolves. I think there's your 6 that could be in trouble this season.
Yeah, good shout. Keith Andrews has got a tough job, man.
Yeah.
That's not including what's going on with Johan Visser. Good Lord, man. Wow. That situation with Visser and Isak is I've never seen anything like it.
No.
You got one guy on strike to leave the club, and you got one guy on strike to go to the club where the main striker's gone on strike. You couldn't make it up.
No. You could not.
It's mental.
Yeah, it's mental. It really is mental how both the star strikers are on strike. It's surprising, especially Wissa's got to delete everything that's related to Brentford on his social media. It just says it all completely. How they.
It doesn't.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Right, is when you were like 15, 16, you split up with your missus, and you just removed her from your socials and that. Like proper high school stuff.
Yeah.
That does, to be honest, it does. I wasn't thinking like that, but nice that you've actually put it that way. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't get any easier for West Ham because they've got Chelsea on Friday evening. Friday evening at the London Stadium. Sunderland go to Burnley, so all promoted clash there. So very good win for Sunderland. West Ham, very ordinary, really poor. And I hate to say it, but Jared Bowen for me they're going to rely on him way too much, I think.
They will. Again, they've did it with Michael Tony for the
Yeah.
last few seasons. This is going to happen again with Jared Bowen, and he's going to have to deal with the pressure of 55,000 fans every single week now.
Yeah. Just before we move on, a little bit of breaking news. And transfer news. We will get to transfer news. Bournemouth are about to sign Adley from Leverkusen.
They've got that money from Brentford, and they're going in signing Ben Doak, and now Adley coming from Leverkusen. It's a good deal.
Very good deal.
Liverpool sort of replaced them already, getting that Eberechi Eze for City though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. Yeah, absolutely.
Ten Hag's going to be the first to get sacked in Germany, by the way.
Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I think Xhaka said, "See you later."
That's what. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely indeed. Going to the messages. Good evening, Pete. Cheers to Doug to the gents as well. Good to have you on our chats, Pete. Hopefully you enjoyed the first few bits we discussed as well. So let's move on to Monday night. And I have to say, as a Leeds fan, I didn't know what to expect last night, but boy, we somehow got that win. We'll talk about the controversy shortly as well. But Leeds winning 1-0 last night against Everton. Lucas Nemka scored through the penalty in the 84th minute. Yeah, but like I said, if you look at the stats, from last night, Leeds pretty much dominated that game. 54 possession to Everton's 55, but the XG was 2.07. And I have to say, Everton only had one shot at target, Leeds had 3. What should I say on this one? I think the fans this season, as we expected, we didn't know what we would expect, especially after the summer we had to deal with, especially about the future of Daniel Farker. Was he going to be there or not? And then what would be the playing? What would what the style of play was going to be? If it was going to be the same from the Championship, or do you think a little bit of adaptability? But we've got a bit more physical by play 6 foot plus. And Andy, I know with you, us being a rivals, Manchester United, what did you expect of the game last night at Ellen Road?
I wasn't surprised you battered Everton. I wasn't surprised. I thought you were excellent for the whole 90 minutes. Farker got his tactics spot on. I mean, you have actually went about your business really well when you look at it. It's went really under the radar. I think, like we've sort of said, it's been underwhelming, but it's been sensible signings you have made. I like the keeper.
Perry, I think he's a huge upgrade. Demelier, a huge upgrade.
And what was the one shot on target was the 82nd minute, was it?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the worst you're going to see Everton as well. I think Everton still got a lot of work to do in the transfer window in the next fortnight, but I'm taking absolutely nothing away from Leeds. That should have been 4-5-0 last night. Joe Perreault, as much as he was a good player at Swansea, good player for using the Championship, he ain't a Premiership striker.
No, I agree, but I think listen, he's got to prove his doubt is wrong. But I agree what you're saying, because everyone, is he that Premier League? Can he step up to the next level? That's everyone's been saying that. He's not going to be first choice every week, but when it's certain games, he will be. But not all. Key only certain games, but not like key games. I think that will be different. I think we knew Dominic Calvert-Lewin was fitness. He was not ready for the first game, not against his old club anyway. So which we accepted. But I think Peru, he had his chances, but he has to be consistent enough. I think he's a little bit more better holding. He did a little better holding up the ball last night, because that's always been the questionable when he doesn't hold up the ball. But he was a little bit better last night. But the player of the match I have to give was Anton Stark. I think that to get it for around about 50, 70 million pounds, I think he's going to be one of those really interesting, not in the top 5, probably in the round, just around the top 10, and bottom half of the top 10 probably signings of the season if Leeds continue their good run for. If Leeds can keep their stuff consistent.
Tanaka really
Yeah.
impressed me as well. I think he's quality because I watched a lot of years last season. Him and Ampadu were just brilliant in that midfield.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I think Sean Longstaff will get the players part as well. I think in that three-man midfield with Ampadu covering the back four when the wings are gone. I think Bogle looked a little bit fitty compared to those questions about his fitness, but I think Goodmanson is a huge upgrade to Firpo. He looked a lot more better defensively and also playing overlapping on the wings as well, which I think he was good last night as well. But let's get to the controversy. With the goal that the penalty that led to the goal. James Tarkowski, handed the ball, but his arms was more in the position of the way he was leaning down. Chris Kavanagh took a good couple of seconds to decide on it, and he spoke to his assistant, and then it was the penalty. Then it was a VR check, and we all thought it maybe would have been overturned, but it did get overturned, and Lucas Nemke scored the goal, his first goal for Leeds as well. I'm going to ask all of you, and we'll come to Doug first. Doug, you spoke about it last night. Was it a penalty or not a penalty?
I'm still not convinced. I get the argument of the fact that you kind of lean towards the ball. And I get the fact that it's obviously travelled a long, long way from distance, but I think it's incredibly harsh. But I don't think it takes away the result, because I think any other result than a Leeds win would have been a travesty, because I thought Everton were really poor yesterday. But I think when you look at sort of like that decision yesterday, Chris Kavanagh took a long time. Took a long, long time. He looked at his linesman, and he was basically waiting for him to like flag to his obviously chest, because that's obviously when you get a penalty kick, and then he decides to give it, and it's almost like he didn't know what to do in that situation. It was a very, very strange way of going about things. And I know they've obviously had the weekend there, Darren England at Chelsea Crystal Palace announcing his decision, like what was to sort of happen. So I like the fact we're going there. I like the fact that we are actually, going towards there. With obviously referees like telling us their decisions. But for me, I'm still not convinced that was a penalty. Because again, I have the same argument. Where do you put your arms? That's the thing. I know he's leaning, but he can't get his arms out of the way when he's sort of going like that. Whether the ball was going to be on target is another thing. I think that's sort of another argument you could go through. But no, for me, not a penalty. But Leeds deserve winners, 100%.
Absolutely. Albert, what was your view from the game last night itself as a neutral, especially you're playing against us this weekend on Saturday evening as well?
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Leeds. Obviously, still got some players that I'm recognised. Obviously, Joe Rodon at the back. You got Wilfred Noncha. I think he's a good player, man. And Daniel James obviously got Premier League experience as well. Because one thing that kills defences in the Premier League is pace, and you've got that. I take Andy's point about your main man up top, because it's a big jump from the Championship to the Premier League. But yeah, the guys are right. Everton, I was expecting not loads more, but a little bit more. Dewsbury Hall's a good sign. He's a good player. I mean, players try and chance around by going to a Man City and a Chelsea when the offer comes up. Scott Sinclair's and your Jack Rodwell's tried it, but it didn't work out too well. Got Grealish on loan. I think it's a good signing for them. It'd be interesting to see how that works. Now you guys feel, because with Moyes and Grealish, it's kind of like oil and vinegar. It's just is that really going to work? Is he going to allow Jack to off the handbrake? But they needed something like that, Everton, because their goal scoring over recent years in the Premier League has been dreadful. You couldn't keep Calvert-Lewin fit. Hopefully it works out for you guys at Leeds. Beto, quick, powerful, strong, not sure, but That's right.
He was linked with us most of the summer as
Yeah,
well.
I was
So
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you deserved the win, man. You definitely deserved the win. You played really, really well. And like I said, getting those 3 points for opening game is massive, especially being at a home game as well. I actually thought it was a penalty, for the reason Doug's kind of highlighted in regards to the distance the ball's travelled. For for an experienced defender like Tarkowski, is incredibly naive. Very, very naive. And you gave the referee or the guys at Stockley Park, unless they moved to another cabin, I'm not too sure, but he gave them an easy. Yeah, I thought it was a penalty. I did. I actually missed it in live time because I was thinking what was going on. But then when I saw the replay, I said, "Yeah, I can see why that's been given, man. 100%."
yeah, no, fair enough. Like I said, I can understand why some people say it's not a penalty. I understand both sides, even though I'm taking off my Leeds tinted glasses off. It's not a penalty. But for us, a Leeds fan, you got to take what you get. So I'm not going to complain about it as much. But like I said, what you guys said, we did batter everything pretty much in that game last night. I think we were more good in the first half. Everything came a little bit better in the second half. But like I said, Leeds were very consistent, especially with the defending quite well. Especially we signed in 6-foot players now, which is going to be interesting. How we play against you guys on Saturday, Albert, I think that's going to be the interesting point. What does Farker do if he's going to try to stick with the same team? Debatable. So, absolutely. Giving the messages. Good evening, Red Devil United. Rich, good. Hope you're well. Big up, Carl, Doug, Carl, and Guess. Yes, good to see you as well too. Yeah. So moving on. Let's get on to the weekend and Thomas Farker's first game, Premier Game as the new Spurs manager. They came in with a 3-0 win against Burnley. Do we say that Richarlison's first goal is a goal of one of the goals of the season?
Is overhead
I
kick?
mean, he's second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's not even the
I've
best
got to be
goal I've seen.
honest. I've got to be honest. Spurs do look very impressive, and if they get Eze, I think they're going to have a very good season. I like Thomas Frank as a manager. I've said for so long he was one of the main reasons Brentford did really, really well. But Spurs, Burnley had their opportunities. To be fair, they did have their opportunities, but I think the thing is when you come to the Premier League, you can't defend like Burnley did at the weekend. Way too open. Basically Richarlison's basically standing on the penalty spot for that first goal. It's poor defending from Burnley, and obviously Dubravka as well. Dubravka was the first goalkeeper to be penalised this weekend because of that 8-second rule. I think it's a good rule, to be fair. I think it's a really interesting rule that's come in, but I think it's a very, very good one that's actually come in. And I think we'll hopefully we see that a lot more. I've said my thing on Burnley. I'm not convinced they're staying up. I'm just not convinced with their team at all. And they have lost a lot of leaders. They've lost Trafford. They've lost CJ Egan O'Reilly. They've lost Josh Brownhill. So I think, and spending 20 million quid on Leslie Ugochukwu, who was on loan at Southampton last season, is a big gamble. They've got Broja as well to come in as well. But I look at their signings: Dubravka, Kyle Walker, Ashley Barnes. That would be very, very good if it was like 2019 Championship. But this is 2025 Premier League. Obviously you obviously want like experienced players to play for you. But I am a little bit concerned with Burnley. But Spurs, very good start to the season. I do have to say though, I do think Burnley should have had a penalty. I think Porro knows what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing on Jadon Anthony, never getting near the ball. So I think they may have got away with one there, and I think that was a penalty kick.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Andy, your thoughts on Burnley season? Do you think Scott Parker can last towards the end of next May at least, because we know his record in the Premier League is not good. Is this going to be concern for the Burnley board themselves if they don't start well?
I think with the fact that Burnley have lost the likes of your Traffords, Egan Riley, Brownhill, and that, you're losing 3 of your captains essentially, and you're replacing them with Dubravka, who's barely played Premier League for the last couple of years. I know he finished the season as Newcastle #1 because of Pope's injury, but Kyle Walker, he got literally lynched out of City, and I watched him at AC Milan, and he was rubbish. He was rubbish. Doug, we've got good friend Reese, right? And me and him watch AC Milan, and he was rubbish over there. He absolutely stunk.
He didn't look convincing in the games that he played in. When I watched the brief about it, he wasn't look really convincing.
Marcus Edwards is a pretty good signing for Sporting Lisbon. They've done well to get him for nothing. Broja, can you keep him fit? Every loan spell or everywhere he's went, he's had a bad injury. So obviously the potential there, because he had that run at Southampton, what, was that 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was 3-4 years ago. Those injuries have got an effect on. I'm not going to try and pronounce the other boy for Chelsea name. When I did for Southampton last year, I was pretty impressed with him. But Southampton were an absolute mess last year. So there you go. And Tottenham look unbelievable. They've made excellent signings. Kudos. He's finally going to be appreciated by a club. Now, West Ham didn't appreciate him enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richarlison looks back to being Richarlison again. And when I say he's got his second goal, yeah, it could be goal of the season in the Premier League, but he's not even going to be up for best goal I've seen of the week. And I'm referencing Kieran Bowie's goal in the Conference League on Thursday. Just unbelievable. But Tottenham are going to be wanting to watch, see if they can get Eze in. You've got to be sitting going, yeah, they can get top 6, top 5, top 6. It's just how they won Champions League and all that. And it's going to come to where if they can handle the big games, your Arsenals, how they're going to do in the North London derby, because Arsenal have got a thing about just, right, Tottenham, swap aside, doing it. They've done it to Angie's team, and you can see they can see Brentford's work on the training ground, the defensive work, the long balls. I'm going to sound like Big Milk Match of the Day, but they're not afraid to hit it, hit the big man. But Burnley made it so easy for them. The 20-30 yard gap between defence and midfield. I thought I was watching Man United for last year. Burnley are going to have a hard season. They need to get players in. Josh Cullen playing at centre back, who's not a centre back.
No.
I'm surprised a lot of the players that have actually. I'm not surprised Trafford, but Brownhill being captain and Egan Riley. Surprised they two left. Especially when you've got, you're going up to the Premiership. Egan Riley, you do well there. You're getting a big move. And he's went to Marseille. Has Josh Brownhill got a club, by the way?
No, he's got no club at the moment. Yeah, he's still decided.
That's what I was wondering when, because I've got a couple of pals who are Burnley fans. I'm like, what's going on with Brownhill? Like, he's quality. Absolute quality.
Yeah.
And he's decided, that's not going to help. It's not going to help him with his fitness trying to find a club. The one thing he is going to get is a massive signing on fee for someone.
The Watford club that we're hearing is Leicester City. It's been talked about a lot the last couple of weeks, but I just don't know with the budget, that budget can it cope.
My problem with that is, though, Leicester have a lot of really high wage players that they're trying to get rid of. Harry Winks is the latest one they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
For me, that would not be a move I would agree with at all.
No. No, absolutely not. Albert, I know you shook your head about Spurs. I know they're rivals across not far from you, but you not surprised with the result this past weekend.
No, you know why, boys, are shaking my head because the Eze thing has really, really irked me badly. With the whole how it sort of panned out. I won't say too much. I'll probably come back to that, or don't want to disrupt the flow of the show. But
Yeah,
in regards to Spurs, it's funny. I've been onto some Spurs channels in the last sort of 12, 18 months as a guest. You look at the chat box, some of their fans. You think to yourself, some of their fans have lost it. Like you're not prime Barcelona. You're not a club that is decorated in honours. So it really surprised me sort of seeing like how they sort of, the managers they've had, the managers they think they deserve, the managers they should get. Spurs are a very interesting club. When you sack a manager before a cup final, you probably would have won it from Mourinho, but who knows? But yeah, listen, Thomas Frank's a good manager. He's a very, very good manager. He's paid his dues. He's done a fantastic job at Brentford. And to be fair, a couple of Arsenal guys have gotten really well. I was watching the pre-season game in North London Derby in Hong Kong or Singapore, wherever it was. And they said already you could see with Spurs, structurally and defensively, even in one pre-season game, absolutely different. Kudos is a brilliant signing. If they can keep, I was obviously going to keep. They're obviously going to keep Romero and offer that he's got a new contract now, hasn't he? Because there's talks about him maybe going to Atletico Madrid. Van der Ven is a good defender. Keep him fit. Jed Spencer's got a decent run in the side now. After it feels like they bought him about 100 years ago.
He did work out well with us at Leeds.
No. Porro's a decent fullback. And Kulusevski is a big miss for them. Big miss.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. I think the reason why they went for Gibbs White is because I don't think they thought they could get Eze because of the Arsenal thing.
Yeah.
Obviously it panned out, and Tottenham are gonna be. They're gonna be a really good side this side, man. If it wasn't for that last 5 minutes against PSG, they would have won. And I would have been thrown up in my sick bucket to see them guys get another European honour, but it didn't happen. PSG done their job, man. Thank God. But yeah, I don't know. Let me not disrupt the flow of the show. So I don't want to get too deep into the Eze thing because that's really kind of that's a very, very sore subject, man. Very sore.
I know. We will talk about it later. Before we move on to our next subject with the title contenders, let's go into the comment section as well. Question for the panel from Pete: would VAR be better if it was compromised only of former Premier League players?
If they can remove their bias from the clubs they either played for or supported, I'm fully on board with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
good point.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Oh, a question from me from Balham. He's actually thoughts on Carlos Cobran, both as a manager and tactics. Next year as the manager, everyone says Daniel will be fired sometime this season. Do you know what? We were linked with him a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, look, he's at Valencia. He's going to have to learn his way at a big club to do with finances. He needs to learn. He did well at West Brom.
Yeah.
Did well at Huddersfield Town, but going to Valencia with all the situation they're in, it's a big jump. So, they got the draw. They should have won against Real Sociedad this past weekend, but drew 1-1. But he's got a lot to learn. I don't think he'll be the next season manager. I can't see that happening at this moment. I think if he can stay consistent at Mestalla, I think at some point in the next few years, then yes, but not now, not as straight away. I don't think so as well. Yeah, I do agree of big win for Leeds United, 3 points as well. I think there's a question of many of us as well too, actually. Also, Bala also asked, are West Ham in the mini crisis? They are losing Alvarez and Kudos, Soto, Paqueta leaving too for his Brazil World Cup chances.
Yeah, when they signed Edson Alvarez, I thought at the time it was a brilliant signing. I thought he would fit into the Premier League very, very well. People say, "Oh yeah, but he's come from the Eredivisie," but you got to start somewhere. But I thought that'd be a good signing for him, but that's not worked out.
No.
Kudos was a waste of
Went
time
well.
there. Yeah, yeah.
He went
Paqueta's a
well.
Paqueta's a quality player. The whole betting thing has just been
It's
crazy.
affected him, and I think he
Yeah,
needs to leave the
100%.
UK. Yeah.
You're coming. Sorry, man. Go on, John.
Yeah. Right, Andrew. Andy, you were about to say something?
See, the thing is, Alvarez, I remember he was linked with Arsenal, he was linked with United. Before Arsenal got Timber, and when we were going for Lissandro Martinez, Edson Alvarez seemed to be the one that either Arsenal or Man United were going to get because we took, one of the other back four. Weird that's not worked out for him there because he's quality.
He's quality.
Yeah, you're right. It's a big surprise because I mean, likes a yellow card definitely as well. But yeah, tenacious. So yeah, I'm surprised when West Ham got him. I thought it was a good signing, but it has not worked out there at all.
No. Mm-mm. It was surprising as well, especially Paqueta. I think Paqueta will leave before the end of the transfer window. I think you got a year left now you got to get into that World Cup squad. Ancelotti's not going to make no crap about who he picks. He's going to have to pick the players that is on form. So Paqueta needs the time away for go back to Spain. Probably would be the best bet. Go to Spain might be the best bet for his career. So. Yeah, we'll see. Bahaz gives another mini question. If one of the new promoted teams stay up, are Wolves the team they need to win against? Are Wolves vulnerable this season in some ways?
I would say Sunderland just have to make their home form a fortress, like Leeds have with Elland Road, because those two atmospheres for me at the weekend were really hostile. You could see from the start that Sunderland were really, really on it from the off. You could see from Leeds last night they were really on it from the off. I just don't get that with Burnley and sort of Turf Moor. Just doesn't sort of get me. But I know we'll obviously come on to Wolves very, very shortly. As I said, Ballum, if you were here at the start of the show, I said there's at least 6 clubs that are in the relegation battle this season, and Wolves are definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely, I do agree. Absolutely agree. Right, let's move on to the title contenders section of the team. We'll start off with the opening game of the weekend, Friday night, with Liverpool winning 4-2 against Bournemouth. But the controversy happened around before they came to the 25th minute or so, that Antoine Semenyo was tactically abused by a Liverpool fan, and the game was temporarily postponed until it got restarted in the 37th minute. But we'll come to the game shortly. But Doug, give us your reaction. I know you said a lot as well, and I know all of us had a reaction as well. But are you disgusted how that happened on the opening game week of the season?
I'm absolutely disgusted. I was really angry that on Friday. The whole sort of event really was about being very, very poignant for Diogo Jota. Very good football match, I've got to say. I thought Bournemouth played really, really well. I thought they were unlucky not to get at least a point, for sure. But this whole thing has overshadowed it for me. We're in 2025. We're honestly, what goes through your mind to basically go up and do that? First of all, can I just say, if it's going to take players to basically say to the referees that they've been racially abused, then I'm all for it, because I thought Anthony Taylor handled the whole situation really well. Basically, was told by Semenyo that he'd been abused. Basically, goes over to Areola, goes over to Arne Slot, and speaks to the fourth official and pointed out almost straight away. If we're going to have that to come in, it's really going to be very, very very good for them, I think. But I've got to say, as a Liverpool fan, it really upsets me with the amount of people who are actually speaking about this and basically saying it was Liverpool fans. It was one fan, right? Let's just get that clear. Let's just get that cleared out right away. One fan doesn't represent a whole fan base. I'm absolutely disgusted with what's happened. That guy has obviously got a ban from Anfield. He's obviously got a ban from every football stadium in England. He needs educated, obviously, of what not to and what not to say. Don't bring his disability into it. That's got nothing to do with anything. But if you go to a football stadium to basically say that you're going to racially abuse someone, you shouldn't be in football. Safest thing to say. I personally wouldn't do that. Christ, half our team are black as well. Like, what message did that send to Van Dijk, to Gravenberch, to Salah, to Gakpo?
Yeah.
Like, it really, really angers me. But going into the game itself, Senesi should have been sent off. I don't understand how that wasn't a red card. The fact is, as well, VAR were very, very quick to basically say it wasn't a deliberate handball. Well, if you look at it, yes, it's come off his thigh onto his hand, but it's the second movement and it's deliberate. He knows what he's doing, so that should have been a red card. I thought Ekiteke had a fantastic debut, leaving where he left off in the Community Shield. He was excellent. Gakpo, I thought, was very, very good on the left-hand side. Verts will come good, and I'm pretty sure of that. I've seen people sort of slag him already, but I thought he had a good game. But defensively is where I really worry for us. It's obviously embedding, the new fullbacks in, obviously Kirkes and, Frimpong. Look, Kirkes was pretty rash against his former club, but then again, probably sort of, first pre-match nerves, etc. Konate is a big concern for me. I don't know what has happened to Ibrahima Konate. I think when you look at Konate's form over the last 12 months, it's been very, very hit and miss. Hence why I think we've got the young lad from Parma. And obviously there's still question marks over obviously Mark Guehi comes as well. Defensively, I'm very worried for us. I've got to say I was very happy when Semenyo scored because it kind of and what he said after the game as well. I thought it was really, 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 really nice. And yeah, the man of the moment, Chiesa, the forgotten man, almost comes on and scores and looks like he's staying, which I'm absolutely delighted about. He is going to be very, very important for this team. And then Mo Salah does what Mo Salah does best: 10 opening goals in 9 seasons is just unbelievable from Mohamed Salah. He basically is breaking records again. Very, very good win. Bournemouth really unlucky not to come away with at least a point, but happy to get that 3 points. And now we go into what is going to be a very hostile atmosphere at St James's Park on Bank Holiday Monday.
It will be. And Albert, do you worry about Liverpool dealing with the counter-attacking what we saw from Bournemouth on Friday night, how they counter-attack, especially with Semenyo, scoring scoring a brace in on Friday night. Do Liverpool need to resolve how to, with those team counter-pressing against them?
Mm-hmm. Firstly, great game to open the Premier League campaign. Brilliant game to watch, actually. And bear in mind with Bournemouth as well, guys, like they lost most of their defence. They've been sold. They've done well from a business point of view, but Ariola's done a fantastic job, man, at that club since he's come in. I mean, he didn't start very well, to be fair to him. But yeah, Bournemouth had their chances before Liverpool got the goal from Ekiteke. It looked really dangerous from counter-attacks. I mean, even one of the goals was like 2 passes and it was a goal. With Liverpool, Ekiteke, I didn't realise he's that tall. So great start to his career. Pinched him for Newcastle. Been monitoring for a couple of years, but that's football. That's football, Doug, guys. It happens. But I've always said this about Liverpool. Doug knows I said this. Top end of the pitch, killers. Absolute killers. You got a team that can average two goals a game or more. you are going to win more than you lose games. From a defensive point of view, I said to a couple to my Arsenal people, I don't watch Liverpool week in, week out. But for me, I'd take Mark Gay over Konate every day of the week, twice on Sundays. Go and get him, Doug. Go and get him. I don't know what. I think he's can go for free next season, though, if I've got that right. But
Yeah.
go and get him. You get him alongside Van Dijk, you'd be laughing. So I know Liverpool fans had their concerns during pre-season and obviously what you saw on Friday night. But you know, when you as a playing side need to address issues, you need to do it ASAP as quick as possible. I wish my club would do it in certain departments, which we'll come on to. But yeah, Liverpool get Mark Gay and get him in, 100% get him in. You've obviously got the other centre back in who you can bed in through the season if needs be, but address that part. I know that Isak thing that's probably going to go right through to the end, but for me, immediately now, go and get Mark Gay.
Andy, especially we'll talk about Konate, what Doug said the last few months. Is this situation, him being linked to Real Madrid, has that really distracted him so much, and that's why he's not signed? He's not been given a contract extension at Liverpool.
I think Liverpool don't give out contract extensions on willy-nilly. We've seen this with Salah and Van Dijk last year. Liverpool aren't going to give them out if you don't deserve them. His form's been absolutely tipped over the hill for the last 12, 18 months. Why would they even extend? Why would they bother? You know, and he's not been impressive. That's why you've seen, you know, Kwanzaa played there a lot last season. Joe Gomez, when he was fit, played there. There's a reason you have went and signed the lad for Parma, Perry, whatever his name is.
Leone.
Leone.
Leone, that's it, sorry. And you're linked with Mark Gahey. Go and get him.
Yeah.
Go and get him. And just turn around to Konate and be like, listen, he's starting. There's your challenge. You want a new contract, you want to stay here. Get him out of the team.
Yeah, Andy, that defending for the Semenyo, the second goal, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I think what was he doing?
Yeah. It wasn't just a defensive fault. I think Liverpool, I've never thought Gravenberch was a number 6. To me, he's always been a number 8 there last year. But I think Liverpool, forget about Isak, forget about don't need him. I'd go and probably get another. I suppose you've got Endo's. Endo's still where he is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Doug. Right, you've got Endo there, so you know you can switch him in and out depending on games. Go and get Mark Gahey and go and fight City for the title. The fullbacks will sort themselves out. Frimpong's a fantastic player.
Yeah,
We've
like
seen a lot of him for the 18 months he was up here. And Kerkez will sort himself out. I think that's just pure emotion. First Liverpool game, you're playing your old team. You want to go out and impress. And,
yeah, well said. Great point.
You know, Liverpool's front line is, you've already said, Albert, score for fun. And Salah's a cheat code. Some flop, isn't he? Some one-season wonder. Like, you've loved to coin that phrase over the last 10 years, Doug.
Yeah. 187 Premier League goals now as well. He's level with Andy Cole. I think the next one to target is Wayne Rooney.
But I know something. He's not really the same on Andy Cole, because Andy Cole done this without penalties.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, 187 goals. That's only 20 goals a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
he's been unbelievable.
I'm a man. I can't stand this, right? But he's a joy to watch, man. I love watching him play football. He's a joy.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do like a lot of your players. Ekitike was brilliant on Friday. McAllister, I absolutely love him as a player. Absolutely love him as a player. Hughes will be right up there again this year. I think it's out of Hughes and City. I hate to say I don't think Arsenal will be anywhere near it, but we'll get onto that later.
Well, there's a lot we're going to discuss about the title race in the next 37 games, so it's all to play out for. Pete, thanks for
Ooh.
letting
Sorry.
it. Go on, Doug.
Yeah, Albert, Trossard signed a new contract.
Yeah, I see that come through. Some Arsenal fans are not going to be happy. I just find it a bit strange that we've got to this point of the window and you're keeping him. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to keep him, keep him. Like this, the my thing is after the window opened the 1st of June, and then obviously it cut away for a bit because of Club World Cup. The window closes in a couple of weeks, and now he's staying. That should tell you even further as an Arsenal fan. Arsenal not bringing anybody in. When Gyökeres was signed, trust me, no one else was coming in. No one else was coming in. So yeah, it's a strange one to it's a strange one to me because if you keep him, you have to move somebody out. And when I say move somebody out, I'm talking about getting monetary value in. Arsenal have been horrendous at a football club for selling players on. Partly it's their own fault. Partly it's their own fault because they keep players for too long. And
Oh dear.
we're just not very good with it at all.
No, absolutely not. I've just see what Michael just said. Club Brugge
Oh
are
dear.
are leading against Rangers at the moment. It's 1-0 at Ibrox. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of interesting night for Russell Martin and his side as well. Actually, so yeah, my God, yeah.
Come on, Simon. Keep them out. Keep them out.
Oh, Pete did the message in from Andy. He's just letting you know from a technical side of the stream that Andy's mic is much lower than the rest of us. So I don't know. Listen.
Yeah, obviously I've not done anything content wise for 18 months, so I'm literally using AirPods.
Yeah, he's gonna get he's getting back up to scratch, everyone. So don't worry about that during the course of the season. That would be rectified. Yeah. So give him credit. So give him cut him a bit of slack anyway. So right, let's move on to Saturday's game. Also, Man City, they won 4-0 at Wolves. Goals from Erling Haaland and Tijan Rangers scored his first goal as well with Chekiri as well too. It looked like Andy probably what Pep needed to start after the bit of a disappointing season last season. They brought in a lot of changes during January and this summer. They brought in Pep Landers, who was from the formerly of Liverpool, as now one of the coaches, and Jay Trafford coming in goal. It sounds like this is a different kind of side of City, what we've seen in the last couple of seasons of the Pep.
Yeah, I think it's just Pep going through another evolution in his style. I mean, Pep Linders was a fantastic coach. Doug will echo this. He'll absolutely echo how good a coach he is. Doesn't bring in bad coaches, Pep. And you look at the summer they had. They didn't sign anyone last summer, and I think he's came out and said he regretted it. He should have sold a whole load of players last summer and rebuilt, and then went for it. By the time January came, they signed Marmouche and the two other lads, is it Kusanov and Gonzalez?
Victor Reyes, yeah.
This year, you know, building for the future again, and you know, they just left it 6 months too late. So I think they look unbelievable. I've said to everyone that will listen, Pep doesn't go losing 2, 3 years in a row. That's the first time he's finished trophyless since his first year at City. He was never letting that happen again. They look brilliant. I know about Reinders as well because I watched them last season at Milan. Absolutely gutted they lost them, but when City come calling.
Yeah.
You look at sort of signings they've made. Ren Cherky from Leon. We all seen at Old Trafford last season and what a player he was. he destroyed us last season in the Europa League. They look right on it, and they're going to be right up there. I'd be concerned if I was a Wolves fan, because that was easy. That was far too easy. But I think they'll still make signings. Still think they've got a couple of weeks to get a couple of players in.
Yeah.
And their manager. I think losing Cunha's a massive one. Sarabia left. They've lost goals at their team, and that's what that is. Goals will keep you in the Premier League. You can't defend like the were though. But weirdly, City are starting quick this year. Predominantly they are, late starters, but they got to start quick, because Liverpool. Look what Liverpool done last season. The title was done by October, November. And I remember when this happened, when Jose came in to Chelsea. United was sort of stutter about first half of the season. Then by the time February came, the motor was moving, and Pep's just switched it like that. And that's just the marking of the manager he is. And yes, I did boo him a month ago in that field. You're damn right I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we've got some more updates from Ibrox, and it's now 2-0 for Club Brugge. Wow, this is going from bad for worst for Rangers. Yeah, Michael, thank you so much. Keep updating us with the latest scorelines. But wow, yeah, this is. Did not expect to be a bad start against the Club Brugge side as well. Etienne Lemmer said Cherky would be an impact player for City. He's proved nothing, but won't prove anything. I don't know about that. I think he's going to be one of City's goodbyes. I'm going to dispute that one as well. And I'll come to Albert first, then to Doug. Albert, especially with what's going on at City, with the links of Edison, look like he's going to move away, to Galatasaray. Savinho has been linked to the Spurs. Did James Trafford deliver well on Saturday? Especially he's gone back to the club. Especially he had a couple season away from them after Burnley signed him 2 seasons ago. Is he the right fit for a goalkeeper for what Pep wants?
Again, he's another one. I think he's paid his dues, man. And you're only going to know if you put him in goal. I think Newcastle will be kicking themselves and get him. To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't end up there. To be honest, so when City obviously had the buyback clause, didn't they, to bring him in? I think the plan was. I mean, people kept talking about Donnarumma. I was thinking, nah, I don't see that happening. In coming to Man City, so James Trafford will get his chance. I think. I don't know what's going on with Edison. I think is Stefan Ortega still there? Is he as well? Okay.
Yeah,
so
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so James Trafford might get his chance. He might get it. And you know what? I think he deserves it personally. Pep, I think he knows what he's doing. Pep's wounded from last season, man. He's wounded. He's a wounded animal. So they're ready to go. They needed to sort of turn over some of their players getting into the latter stage. Obviously, De Bruyne has gone to Napoli now and get some more legs there. Ryan, this is in there. Ryan Cherky. I feel it's a bit harsh, the comments there on him. Like what I see of him.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh. Yeah.
Like what I see of him. That goal he scored in the Nations League against Spain. But City are ready to go again, man. They're ready. Like they say with strikers, you need to feed them food, man. So Holland will get plenty of chances. Don't worry about that. I like the look of Marmoush, what I saw last season. Obviously, they bought the guy at the back, Kushinoff as well. I mean, even earlier in the window, they was linked with Livramento. They weren't fit, so they weren't. But that I don't think that's going to happen now.
No.
Yeah, I like Aït-Nouri at left back. Very good fullback. So they're ready to go, man. Trust me. The Pep is like Andy said. You don't go through many seasons not winning trophies. So
no.
They will not be repeating the same Premier League performance they did last season. Trust me.
Yeah. So and Doug, about Wolves briefly, it's you have to question the ownership, with the Fulstein Internet family. They haven't been investing much the last couple of seasons. Do you see them now pretty much, it's just that they're looking for new investment in the next couple of years or so.
Yeah. Again, another team I think are really badly in trouble this season. Again, lost too many players. And I'm not convinced with Jose Sa on the goal anymore. I know they've obviously got Sam Johnston on the substitutes bench. It's not really worked out for him, really. I spoke to a Palace fan on my radio show, funnily enough, and he was saying he was really surprised when he left Palace. He was really surprised when he left Palace to sort of go to Wolves. It's not, as I said, it's not really worked out. I mean, they got the lad Bentley as well to come in as well. You know, I think Wolves will struggle this season. I really, really do. Just one other thing, obviously, on City. Jeremy Doku flatters to deceive for me. I don't get what City bought for him, but he just looks lost in the City side. You know, obviously you've got Foden to come back. You've obviously got, I think Marmoush will start against will start the weekend there as well. Actually, it's Man City Tottenham. Funnily enough, it's Man City Tottenham at the Etihad. So that'll be a very interesting game on Saturday lunchtime. But Doku just don't get it at all. For me, if you're going to be playing anywhere on the left hand side, it's got to be Marmoush, because Marmoush for me proved when he signed for City that he was a very good signing for City.
Yeah.
And I just think you look at like the players that they've got coming back. I mean, Silvinho, I don't know if he's going to be staying there. There's been
It looks like
further.
It looks like he might be, because I think the move to Spurs has been on hold because they're getting Eze. So we'll talk more about that. But it does sound like, yeah, he doesn't look like he gets his move.
Yeah, but no, for me, I don't know what the rest of the panel think, but for me, I just don't rate Doku at all. Does everything right, and it's just that final ball, end touch, final end product. Just, I described once Adama Traore as having the end product of a bowling ball, because anytime he basically got to the byline, it was almost like he was basically like rolling out the pitch. So for me, Doku's end product is just as bad as Adama Traore. I'm sorry.
You set us off there, Doug. You set all of us off here. that comment there, my God. Oh yeah, no. You made some good points on that one. You really did as well.
Yeah, what do you guys think of Doku?
Go on. I'll let Andy go first.
You're mute.
You're mute. He's lost. We'll come back to you, Andy. Albert, you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember first seeing him in the Euros, 2 Euros ago. I thought maybe promising, a lot of pace, but then I think it's a wider problem with a lot of wide forwards in European football. End products. Been crying about it, moaning about it with one of our players at Arsenal, Martinelli. Same thing about the way he is at Chelsea now at Arsenal. It's your end product. Your decision making in the final third. But yeah, a lot of pace, but just to me, he's too safe. What he does is very, 5-yard passes, running the channels. I don't particularly see him try and be brave or take a shot. You're a wide forward. He's not an assist king. Pep doesn't start him in loads and loads of games. So you paid a lot of money for this guy, man. Yes, he will stretch defenses, but you need to add a bit more than just doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, have we got you back now?
You've got me, man. I've just
Good.
turned myself off, on and off mute, man. I think it's rubbish. I'm going to be honest, I think it's absolutely rubbish. Exactly what Doug said. That sent me You got me there, Doug. Nah, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Just don't see it. See, when you've got Oscar Bob there as well, and you've got, half the forward line can play out on that left-hand side, you're not offering anything. 2 years ago, when Man United played them in the FA Cup final, right, Wan-Bissaka marked him at the game. Not that that says anything. Wan-Bissaka was excellent at that, but it was just, there's no end product there. It doesn't look like he's been coached by Pep either.
No.
And Pep is a good, coach of those players, but he's went through so many wingers. Like, he's great with central midfielders and, ball playing sort of centre backs, right? Minus sort of Messi. What wide players he really developed properly? Because Foden's not a left or right winger. Foden's a number 10. Foden just plays out there because he has to.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
It's just I was saying it to my dad the other night there. We're watching Match of the Day. I was like, that docu's rubbish. Just doesn't provide anything to me. I'm trying to think of a player it reminds me of. This is a ages ago shout, and this is more up here. Doug will probably remember Ivan Sproul, who played for Hibs. Reminds me of him. A lot better, obviously, but Ivan Sproul, he had pace, but final ball wasn't happening.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting comparison with that one. Right, getting on to the last of the title contenders. Both of our guests, this team played against each other this weekend at Old Trafford. Arsenal getting a win at 1-0 from Ricardo Calafiori's goal after a bit of an error from especially with your goalkeeper Andy. We'll talk about
3-0 Bruges.
Yep, we just got more latest. Michael's just covered. It's now 3-0 to Club Bruges. This is just, oh my god, this is now getting worse. This is a huge mountain decline for Rangers at Ibrox tonight. The second leg is not going to be good enough. So
that scoreline does not surprise me in the slightest, because Club Bruges were absolutely fantastic last Champions League, so that does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, going back to the game at Old Trafford, Andy, I know Atletico Andy, made a bit of an error, to let Calafiori score that goal from the corner. But overall, what do you expect for the Man United performance, especially in Bremo and up front, and also Cunha as well?
I thought back to front, I thought we were brilliant. Even Mason Mount as a false 9 was excellent. From what you can see, we've been worked on during pre-season. You can see he's locked the doors at Carrington and went, right, use that I'm keeping. If yous want it, let's do it. And I look at the back three, that's the back three I would have picked. Fully fit players. I'd have played Tom Heaton in goals, because especially of Arsenal's set pieces, I think Tom Heaton would just come out and just punch that away. Going forward, I thought we were excellent. The big surprise for me was actually playing Casemiro instead of Ugarte or Menu, but that tells you everything about Casemiro's character to me. You look at they're as bad as Binder and Onana are as bad as each other. They're as bad as each other. He probably is worse than Onana. I think Onana's actually better than him. Onana's got the same mistake rate as Emi Martinez, who've been linked to. I know the keeper I'd go for. I'd go for Costa. Where is he? Porto or Lisbon?
Porto.
Porto. I don't get him if we're going to go and get anyone. But no, I thought we were brilliant. Even some of Sesko's runs. I watched the game back on MUTV earlier the day, and I was like, if Sesko's fully fit, he gets onto some of those balls. And Arsenal do what Arsenal are really, really, really good at. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Arsenal!" Like I did say, Arsenal were terrible. I'm going to retract that. I think Arsenal were very methodical in what they done. They got the goal and they defended like their lives depended on it, which you'd expect from a team of how good Arsenal have been over the last couple of years defensively. I don't know if Gyökeres made it back to London. Pretty sure he went home with Matty still in the back pocket. But he'll get better, man. I think out of the strikers that have been signed in the Premier League, Ekitike, Gyökeres, Sesko and all that, I look at Gyökeres and I don't know if it's going to work at Arsenal.
Albert, I'll come to you, but that was a question I was going to come up with. Especially you got the win. It wasn't your best performance, but David Raya really, has a good performance again. There's a reason why I tend to preferred him when you signed him from Brentford after replace Aaron Ramsdale. Does Gyökeres need so much time because he only had like 3 touches in the opposition box this past Sunday? Are you surprised a bit of the slow start he had to come off and had to make, bring Havertz? Do you think Havertz will start the next game against Leeds United on Saturday?
I'll answer that back to front. Havertz shouldn't start on Saturday. You don't bring in someone like Victor Gyökeres and then bench him for the second game. It would make no sense. But knowing our manager, how he operates, you never know, man. But I said this before. I've said this a million times, so this would be nothing new. So it's good to say it on another platform. It didn't matter whether Arsenal bring in Gyökeres, Sesko, the second coming of Pele, Maradona. The elephant in the room is the manager. He played under Moyes. He played under Wenger. He manages more in the style of David Moyes, but has better players. This is his squad. Arsenal, whatever you saw of last season, Arsenal, Karl, Andy and Doug, we move the ball too slowly.
Yeah.
Martin Odegaard is our maverick creative player. Takes far too many touches of the ball. Receives the ball far too deep. And you think to yourself as an Arsenal fan when you watch him at the games when I go and watch him on the box, this has to be coming from the manager. Why are we only playing down one side of the pitch? It doesn't make any sense. And then the left-hand side, if you speak to any Arsenal fan, they're going to pull their hair out because the imbalance in this playing style on our left-hand side is remarkable. Arsenal's performance.
You've got some cracking left-sided players as well.
We've got some.
Martinelli's proper good, man. Like I know he's had a tough time. He's a quality player, man. He's proper good.
And you know what? You speak to a lot of Arsenal fans. No, move him on. He's regressed.
I know. I've heard it and seen it.
Yeah, it's just he did. I'll tell you the best way to sum up Martinelli, and I always bring up the same 2 instances. We play Man United away. It must be 3 years ago now. We had the green kit. We won 1-0. Trossard scored. There was a passage of play where Odegaard gives the ball to Martinelli. Martinelli goes on a run, has a shot. Onana tips it over the bar. But if you actually watch that passage of play back and you watch Martinelli, not once does he get his head up.
Look up.
No. And then we had the game at Anfield, the 2-2, which gave 23-24. No, 22-23, sorry.
That when you were 2-0 up?
Yeah, and due to all. Martinelli gets the ball on the left-hand side. We've got our Michael Thomas moment. Simple ball to Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I remember that.
That is indicative of Martinelli. His finishing is not that great, I don't think, for a player that plays as a wide forward. For someone that plays in his position, he should have far more assists. But the reason why he doesn't have that is because he's decision making and he doesn't get his head up. But for Arsenal to be effective this season, whether it's Gyökeres, Sesko, whoever the striker is going to be, Mikel Arteta has to show that he's adaptable. And I don't think he is. He's very stubborn. He's very set in his ways. Everybody knew Martinelli was going to start on Sunday because of his work off the ball, quotation marks. Nwaneri was down to our bare bones last season, for example, towards the back end of last season. We've been told how good Nwaneri is and up and coming. 5-10 minutes to go in games, doesn't come on. And we're told it's because he's work off the ball. He's not going to be the finished article at 17, 18. So I was glad with the 3 points. But the kind of performance I saw is what I saw for most of last season. And going back to sort of the Arsenal, the creative side of it, which touches on the Eze thing. I'll speak for myself personally because I can't speak for every other Arsenal fan. It really, really irks me how that's turned out. Eberechi Eze is a Roger Federer of football. He's that good a player. You get Arsenal fans moaning and crying about, but where would he fit in? And this player, I don't care. He would walk into our side. But the elephant in the room is the captain. Now people will go, oh yeah, but he had the injury and he came back. That's not the point. If you, I don't know what the stat was. The amount of times Mikel Arteta has hooked him in games before he was captain and when he was captain, that shouldn't be happening if that's your creative player and your main go-to guy and your captain. The math is not mathing up. So when I see Arsenal fans say about Eze, we don't need him, is absolutely bonkers. He's exactly the type of player we don't have. And for it to pan out the way it's panned out, I'm absolutely furious. But then Arsenal...
And he's gone across town as well.
Yeah. And I'd even...
That's what the worst thing is, yeah.
Yeah. And we hear a lot of things at Arsenal, boys, whatever you want to believe, and I don't believe anything that comes out of the club anymore. We've got to sell players. This is Arsenal Football Club. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Someone like Eze should have came in before Gyökeres and Madueke. Why
did you sign Madueke in the first place?
Insane signing. You know what? It's not even on him, and you know what it is?
50 mil.
You know what it is when Mikel wants a player, all the fan base on side. You could have got a player. My issue with Madueke is, if you're going to criticize Martinelli for his end product, you've gone and done the same thing by bringing in a player who has the same issue.
Yeah.
But he's left-footed. So, yeah, there's a lot of frustration for me in terms of the Eze thing and how the club run. We always leave ourselves 1 or 2 players short every summer window for maybe even 10 years. 10, 12 years, 15 years. Always 1 or 2 short. And I think the buck stops with the manager. He's a very, very lucky man to finish up that he hasn't got an owner like Marinakis or an Abramovich or a Todd Bowley, because he would have been gone. He's very, very fortunate. Yeah. He's been backed. It's his team. It's his players. It's his tactics. And I'll say this. We played Brighton last season, for example, and we drew 1-1 at the Amex. And I went I was a guest on another Arsenal channel, and I said, you know what? Sometimes with players, they need to hear a new voice. The amount of pushback I got that day was unbelievable from Arsenal fans.
Jeez.
Crazy.
That is crazy, man. I knew there was always been the divide with some of you guys, Arsenal fans. I did expect...
There's a massive divide now.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's almost like they want there's sections of our fans, they want it more for Arteta than the club. And that's been a running theme, and it's grown stronger and stronger as the seasons go by. And if you criticize or critique Mikel Arteta, you get it in the neck.
Jeez, yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Almost 7. It'll be 7 years next season. He's been here, or 6-7 years.
Yeah, I know.
Thing is, like, the Arsenal fan base is wild. It's a wild fan base when you see it on YouTube. You've got this side of it and you got like that side of it, and I sort of stay away from a lot of the football YouTube stuff because it's mad.
I'll try myself.
But I try, I do most of the stuff I get is on TikTok, right? And it was that absolute madman Troops, right, talking about Arteta. He's never been Arteta in.
There's a lot of
them. He's never had it, and I never agree with him. But seems like this manager. Get him gone after he's got beaten Singapore, and I thought, oh God, is this going to be it?
But you know what?
7 years and one
you
FA
know what?
Cup.
And the flip
7
side,
years and one FA
yeah.
Cup.
And the flip side is you've got actual sections of our fans that would give him another 2 years.
Oh my God! Yeah,
It's insane.
Look at the rest of our clubs, right? We go through managers like mad, right? We are so ruthless with managers, right, since Fergie went. David Moyes didn't even get a full season. Louis van Gaal was sacked in the changing rooms after the FA Cup. Mourinho went. Mourinho was box office, so I'll tell you, I kind of loved that sort of period. Ollie, treated terribly, wasn't good enough, out the door. You know, club legends. Football isn't ran on sentiment, man. And I think the Arteta's, you know, to me, Arsenal should be. And I grew up with, you know, my last memory, Arsenal, first memory, sort of Thierry Henry, not Thierry Henry, sort of Ian Wright.
Yeah.
You know, winning the Premier League when I was about 4 or 5 year old. Arsenal have always been perennial winners. But to me, after he's paid off the Emirates and you have got the manager that you've wanted, there's no excuse for spending money now. Go out and get the killers. You need killers.
And that is my issue with the Eze thing. You know, fantastic players.
Eze's a killer, isn't he?
We don't have a player like him, but the elephant in the room is Odegaard's there, and you know, some Arsenal fans blocking pathways of Downman and went. Downman is 15 years old, man.
He's got loads of potential and loads of time.
Some of the fans say, when I said, I'll tell you why we signed Wanera in a contract, right? Because obviously he's a talented player. I don't think the manager.
Man United were talking to him.
Yeah, Chelsea. I don't think the manager is fully convinced by him, personally. I don't think
that's how we got Heaven and Chido. You know what I mean? Because it's getting stifled.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And see, when I heard about the Waneri talk, I was like, get him. Who cares how much? Get him. The boy's got it. Put him in that central midfield like he's meant to play, and let him go.
But yeah, you know what it is. I'm not sure if he's if Arteta's he's too stubborn because Arsenal can't play the football they played last season. I messaged Doug. Doug was at the Fulham game. I was at the Everton home game, and the football was awful. Now, Arsenal fans will convince you it's down. Yes, we had an awful injury record last season. I think it's 27 players or 20, whatever the injuries were. But we didn't get 14 draws because of injuries. We didn't drop 20 plus points winning positions just because of injuries. It's because the football was rubbish. And we have a creative problem even with Martin Odegaard in the side. We have sections of our
fans. Is the captaincy a problem for him, Albert? Because I was talking to a lad I work with, Ray, and he's like, I take the captaincy off him, like Tony Adams already said. Douglas has already commented on this as well. I seen him retweet it. Give it to Decky Rice and let Odegaard sort of free. Maybe the pressure's too much for him.
You know what it is?
There's a player in there, man. Odegaard's been rated since he was 14, 15, and the player's there. The player is there.
Do you know what it is? No, I don't agree with everything Tony Adams said. I was a bit harsh to say, you're not going to win anything with him. But there's a lot of what he said was right. But the problem with sections of our fan base are they have more energy and want to hold people accountable like Thierry Henry and Tony Adams than the manager. And that's my issue with some of our fans. I mean, Henry was right what he said on the overlap. He said United, as bad as they've been in countless cup finals.
Yeah.
Arsenal not been in a
our
cup.
banter era. We've won everything.
Yeah, Ten Hag won twice. Ten Hag won 2 trophies.
We've won everything, once or twice.
Van Gaal won a trophy. You know, so
he got sacked.
Yeah, I know. It's Arsenal. He's very, very fortunate. I think the owners are too gutless to sack him, and I personally think, this is my own personal opinion, Berta was brought in for a number of different reasons, and I'll leave it at
that. Right. Yeah. We'll deep dive that another time.
We will do. We will do.
I think so.
All right. We'll get to the other results shortly. We'll just go back into the messaging chat as well. Pete Shepherd said something about Pep early on. Pep's material situation was a bit Situation was a big factor
Yeah.
last season. They Hickley signed another contract extension out with City. He also said Jeremy Doku was very young and he's learning. He can't teach his speed quickly as he'll get better. And he also said, remember Sterling and his symbolic finishing. It takes time for some players as well. And I've just seen here what Pete said. This is more Arsenal being piss poor than United being good. Raya made 7 saves, but only one was difficult. And United midfield is going to be issued all season long.
I disagree with that, to be honest. The midfield point, the way that 3-4-3 set up is the way it played on Saturday. I don't think Casemiro is going to be the choice going forward, and Ugarte isn't it, by the way.
No,
Ugarte is not it.
No,
I don't see it. I'd go and get. My big thing is I genuinely wouldn't go and get a keeper. I'd go and get a midfielder. Casemiro, yeah, I agree he's too old. I seen Pete Siller comment in the chat about Bruno being too old. Yeah, there it is. Nice one. Bruno doesn't track back enough. That 3-4-3 is just going to cause people absolute problems this season, though. Doesn't matter who plays in the wing backs or number 10s. That's going to cause so many problems this year. And they were really good when it came to the transition as well. I was just really, really impressed. The only change I would have changed was I would have brought Menu on for Casemiro, not Ugarte. I'd get rid of Ugarte, personally. I don't think he's it. Ten Hag didn't want to sign him in the first place last year. He didn't want to let Scott McTominay go. And you look at what Scott McTominay actually offered, right? He slots straight into that midfield. I know he's went on and done great things at Napoli, whatever. I'm buzzing for him. Absolutely buzzing for him. And he's Scottish. So, the mixed sauce is saucing over there. And he's going to probably keep Kevin De Bruyne out of that Napoli team.
Yeah, I think he would, actually. If I'm saying, as you just said that.
This is a different thing, right? And it's my last curveball of it. Who's seen it last year, right, that Scott McTominay and Kevin De Bruyne would be in the same team?
No, none of
that
us.
wasn't on my bingo card for 2025.
No, that is, yeah.
It's not on my bingo card for the year.
Yeah.
And McTominay being up for the Ballon d'Or. Great.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
Hilarious.
It's unbelievable. It is. Right, we've got 2 more segments left to go, so we just get through briefly some of us on the over results. Doug, let's start off Aston Villa drawing 0 against Newcastle United. Both of these sides are going through the issues with their transfer stuff, PSR stuff, but in a way, was it a fair draw?
Not for me. I thought Newcastle were the better team against Villa, even before they went down to 10 men. I think that front three of Barnes, Gordon, and Elanga is very interesting. I think when you look at the way Newcastle played, I forgot Martinez was banned because I was like, where's Martinez? But then I forgot you go sent off against Andy's lot at Old Trafford.
That was funny though.
It was funny. For me, I thought Newcastle were the better team.
Same.
They've got Jacob Ramsey to come in as well on that team. I think I think it's a really good sign, and I've rated Jacob Ramsey a while, for sure. So I think it's going to be hostile when we play them on Monday. Safe to say. But no, I think Newcastle should have won. I thought they were the better team throughout the game, I think they'll be kicking themselves if they didn't go away with 3 points, and that would have been a morale boosting win for Eddie Howe for sure.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Albert, let's go to the controversial VAR decision again at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea drawing 0-0 against Crystal Palace. Unfortunately, Eze scored a wonderful free kick, but it was disallowed due to Matt Guay, who was coming into the 1 meter, zone. Actually, when he pushed Casado.
That, Carl, that is an absolutely ridiculous rule they've brought in.
Yeah,
and
it's never been used since
2019.
2019.
Away from the bloody wall. Sorry, no, that's absolute rubbish.
Yeah, I think all of us will agree that was the worst decision we saw this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I need the transfer window to be over. I can't be seeing Eze on my screen on my tweets, man. It's good to wind me up now. But yeah, I didn't know about the rule. But so I thought, why? Firstly, I thought, why are they checking the goal for?
Yeah,
I don't understand what's going on. And then when they explained, I thought it was a foul by Gay. It's like, no, it wasn't. And then when I found out the real reason, I said, what? I said, oh my God, this game is done. And this is the first week of the Premier League season. This is insane, man. But yeah, mad. I just, the rule makers, man. Listen, I was complaining when Mike Riley was in charge of PGML for about 100 years. I think Howard Webb needs to tend to his resignation, to be honest. I don't think he's been any better since he's come in, to be honest with you.
Actually.
No, it's
really.
not. I didn't expect it to be better. What was I thinking? But yeah, unbelievable decision. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it was surprising that rule's been here since 2019, but it's never been used as much. But somehow, because of the referees now, the officials not under pressure, they have to include this rule. Yeah, didn't make no sense at all. It didn't make no sense at all. Andy, move on to the Abex. Fulham got a late equaliser from Rodrigo Muniz in a 1-1 draw. Should Brighton should have closed that game, or do you think Fulham was very lucky to get the draw, despite Fulham's not had a lot of signings in this summer transfer window?
Brighton should have hammered them, mate. I've not seen the full 90 minutes. I've only seen what Match of the Day showed. But they should have hammered them, man. Absolutely hammered them. But Brighton's defending was just terrible at set pieces. I can see why Leeds are going for
Rodrigo, yeah,
the boy that scored for Fulham.
Muniz, yeah.
But as I said to you, I can understand why he's probably going to stay at Fulham or go to Atalanta.
I don't think that move will happen now.
I
think that deal's off now with Atalanta. So I think he might be still.
He's quality, man. I like him as a forward, man. But Brighton are quality watch. They always are. The best run club in the country. Tony Bloom's just, run a madness there, and your lot up here, Carl, start benefiting from that a lot more.
We'll
which
see.
Is good for the whole ecosystem.
We'll see, especially after we'll see after Derek McKinnon's do his job at Jambo to get us through into the Scottish League, which you lot not be this past weekend. So,
mate, have you seen your record at St Mirren? You've won one out of the last 15 at St Mirren, so
yeah, I know.
I did expect you to go through, but no, I mean Brighton let Fulham off the hook. But my dad was saying, it made a good point to me. He was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Marco Silva walked at the end of the season because they're not backing him when he's consistently got them in the Premier League and around between sort of like 8th and 12th. Where are Fulham really realistically want to be? You know what I mean? Not the biggest London club, certainly. Not even the biggest club in their borough, probably. Good football club, good owners, Tony Khan and all that run AEW. They need to back him, man. They need to give him signings. They can't rely on just pinching players off Arsenal that Arsenal don't want.
Yeah.
Could see Reece Nelson going back there, though, permanently. I could see that happening if Reece can stay fit.
It's questionable, and especially if Fulham will get less than 2 weeks to make signings as well. Doug, finally come to you. We have forgot to talk about Brentford, the lost 3-1 to Nottingham Forest. do you worry for Keith Andrews in this situation with him being the new manager on the block?
Yeah, I fear for them. I really do. One ball from Elliot Anderson had Crestwood away, and it just, I don't know what it is about Bramford though, but I don't think I think Keith Andrews is the right fit for Bramford. I feel sorry for Queeve. I really do. I think he had a good game. He made a few saves, but when he was at Liverpool, he didn't really have that much to do.
No.
Now he's at Brentford, he's gonna have loads to do, really. They've got Ouattara now, but I mean, we will have him on. I've got a Brentford fan who is sort of going back and forth every time I do these kind of things, and he's not particularly happy at the fact that everyone seems to have predicted Brentford to go down this season. But
he's
I just look at Brentford and I look at that squad, and Igor Thiago got his first goal at the weekend, so that's a
signed
good
him last year.
thing to see. Obviously, Shad, I think, was coming back from an injury anyway. But yeah, I'm just a wee bit concerned for them. Forest star where they left off. Crestwood 2 goals. And that boy from Switzerland and Doy. I'll tell you now, he's going to be one to watch this season. That Ndoye, lovely header into the bottom corner. And looks like a really, really good Alanga replacement.
Yeah, he's a very good replacement. All right, indeed as well. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks in the transfer window. But guys, thanks for doing all the results. We'll get to the transfer news shortly. Let's get the Premier League table up and running right now across the screen and see where things stand at the moment. So yes, as I said, at the top of the table, we have got the usual suspects as well. So Man City at the top of the table, Sunderland there in second place at the moment, with Spurs and Liverpool make up the top four. Nottingham Forest and Arsenal and Leeds are there with the other teams that won this past week as well. Brighton, Fulham, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Palace and Newcastle are all in between 8th and 13th place. And at the bottom of the table, it's a slow start for both. It's a bit of a disappointing start for the weekend for Wolves, West Ham, and Burnley as well, alongside with Brentford and Brentford just above the relegation, with Bournemouth and Man United in 15th place as well. So, sorry, I didn't put the screen up there. I'll just show it there. Apologies for that. So, yeah, see the table here. Wolves at the moment, at the bottom of the table, West Ham and Burnley. And also with Brentford and Bournemouth, will other teams will over Man United losing with Everton. And then the top of the table, it's Man City, a good start. Sunderland with their first win after 8 seasons away. They're with 3 points ahead of Spurs and Liverpool, and Forest and Arsenal and Leeds United make up the rest of the top 7 as well. So gentlemen, let's get on with the last bit of the show. Let's discuss about the latest transfer news. So, Doug, I'll let you go first. About Eze going to Spurs. What's the latest?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at Romano's tweet. Apparently, Alexander Isak has come out with a statement.
Yeah, I just see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just seen that as well. I think it's a really good move for Spurs. Let's put it this way: they've needed a creative player for a number of seasons, and obviously they've had Son there for a while. But yeah, that almost full agreement. I think according to Ben Jacobs, that one happens very, very soon for me. I'll say that this happens after Palace's Europa League game, or Conference League game, sorry, I should say. And I think he says goodbye to the fans. So, yeah, I think it's not done yet, but it will be done very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I'll bring the news later on Garnacho move to Chelsea. Yeah, so it looks like this is getting a little. Garnacho did turn down the move to Bayern Munich as he wants the Chelsea move. He wants to permanently chase it,
Did
but
he though?
there's still a gap of
Did he?
valuation. I need your take on that.
Did he reject Bayern Munich? Did
Yes.
Bayern Munich even bought nonsense? Absolute wibble. Bayern Munich in for Garnacho when they've got, oh wait, 3/4 of the best front line in Europe. Yeah, that's somebody's boring reporting's put that in. Sorry. Who was that? The MEN? Samuel Lockhurst at MEN?
Give
What
you the
nonsense again.
ye-
Just
pro-
get the wee
yeah,
widge out.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you've been brilliant, but your attitude stinks, mate. Get out. Just go.
yeah. Well, you hear
Hit
from
between. Mate. See these players. And we've got to pay that little idiot Sancho off as well.
Mm,
Just pay him off. Put him on the line of the dole. Douglas is killing himself here. He knows I've been raging about Sancho for ages.
yeah, we know. We see it in the group chat.
I've barely even tweeted about this because I'm like, I'm going to watch how I say things here because I can go too far.
We know. Especially I live in Scotland with you two. I know you're the more fiery one, Andy. I know that. Out of all four of us. Yeah.
Mate, you once introduced me on your show as the unfiltered one. You thought I'd take it as a insult. It was a brilliant compliment.
Yeah. I know. So latest news from Sky in Italy that Atalanta is moving on from Rodrigo Muniz after agreeing with Lecce for their striker Nikola Kristovic. That deal, the technical made £34.5 million for the Brazilian last week, but I like now decided Kristovic now be head coaches, even Muniz is striker, so that deal should be wrapped up by tomorrow. So, also that Leon Bailey is being welcomed by Roma fans ahead of his season-long loan from Aston Villa. That should be done in the next 24 to 48 hours as well. As well. So yeah, will be no buyout clause. I don't think is an option as well for Bailey going to Roma. And see here. RB Leipzig and he talks with Chelsea over signing Christopher Nkunku. The Blues rejected a loan move for Nkunku from Bayern Munich on Sunday. He is set to leave Chelsea with 4 years left on his deal, and the Chelsea valued the French international £43 million this summer. Both Chelsea and the
Sorry,
foreign
Carl,
want
did
the
I
deal.
just hear that right? Nkunku back to Leipzig?
Yes.
Hold on, how much do they want for him?
£43 million Chelsea value him.
They've just put another 10 million on the Garnacho value.
Yeah, I saw that earlier with Nkunku. Mad.
Yeah.
Like, Garnacho was actually good last season. Like, he was decent. What's Nkunku done at Chelsea? But as much as Sancho stunk the gaff out.
Yeah, I know.
They'll get it as well. Chelsea are unbelievable at selling players.
Well, Chelsea do need to sell at least 8 to 10 players so that the squad is overblown. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting final 2 weeks for Chelsea to get outgoings, especially the transfer window closes on the 1st of September. So, keep an eye on that. And also, other news as well. Belong your eye in talks with Marseille about signing Jonathan Rowe with the increased likelihood exit, increase of falling occasion with Marseille teammate Adrian Rabiot. Rowe and Marseille have been open to a dialogue about moving in the summer, especially signed Igor Paxio at the start of the month. But both Rowe and Rabiot have now been suspended by the first team and told they are transfer listed by Roberto De Zerbi after the incident in the dressing room last Friday night. After the loss to Rennes, the reports in France it became physical, and Marseille decided today that the transfer of both of them due to the unacceptable behaviour as well. So, yeah. Well, and Adrian Rabiot has also been looking for a new club, but reports of talks with AC Milan are wide off the mark. Yeah.
Right. I know players that play like pro footballers, right? And see scraps in changing rooms. They're normal. They are so normal. It's unbelievable.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I'm not surprised at Rabiot though. Like Rabiot's
Yeah, we know. We've known
Rabiot's
that.
nuts.
Yeah.
Like Rabiot's a nut job, man.
Especially
That'll
Jonathan
be
Rowe.
some signing for Bologna though.
Yeah, especially Jonathan Rowe did just
That'll be
join.
some.
Did join my side of the permanent deal last season at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting as well. We just got some news from Albert. Albert, take us away. What did you just confirm to us in the group chat? Can you report that?
I just see that Ben Jacobs tweeted that Mo Salah got PFA Player of the Year.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah,
Of course he did.
Phenomenal.
Of course he did.
Phenomenal season.
How many times is that?
Doug, you know.
3, I think.
3. Wow.
3 or 4, isn't it? Well deserved. It was unreal last year.
Yeah, no, absolutely it is. He deserves it. There's no way you're going to give it to Isak after what his behaviour has been. So,
No.
What, for winning a League Cup?
yeah, pretty much as well.
Very good.
Gentlemen, we are come to the end of the show. Thank you very much for everyone for joining, for your messages as well. Like I said, Albert, tell where everyone can find you as well, and I'll put your channel in the description for everyone to follow you.
No, the pleasure, man, to talk. I've not been on for a while with Doug, so Doug knows I love him, man. Brother to brother, man. So, yeah, Albert JTV. Should be an entertaining season this season for Arsenal. Oh, God, Jesus, man. Transfer window over. Yeah, thank you. Albert JTV on all platforms. There are 2 Albert JTVs. I'm definitely not the other one, trust me. You'll see for yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Albert, for joining us. Andy,
No worries.
it's really a pleasure for you. We've not seen you for a while. You're back on.
Always has,
I know
man.
you'll get back up to scratch as well, but we know where everyone can find you. But tell us where everyone can find you.
Oh yeah. What's my Twitter handle now? At Rogers1875 on Twitter if you want to come and follow me. No point sharing my YouTube channel now if it's just filled with music videos now. If you do want to check me out, just type in Andy Rogers on YouTube. You'll find some excellent interviews and chats. Where me and Doug have had chats. Me and yourself had chats. I've had ex-Levy #1 Darren Jameson on. I've had musicians on. I've had done a lot during COVID and all that. And just, fell away for it like we all did for a while. Might get back into it, might not. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. We'll have you during the course of our shows during the course of the season, mate. I appreciate that. Especially
pleasure, man.
on the Saturday show and also our championship review here on the Totally Levy and Horne football podcast. We should get you on a lot more often, so we'll catch you there sometime soon.
When I'm off Saturdays, man, I'm always about.
Perfect. Well, like I said, you'll enjoy the company with me and Reese this weekend if you're free, if you're up for it. Perfect. And Doug,
let me know.
Yeah, we'll do. Doug, we know where everyone can find you, but please tell the bunch of everyone across the channel.
Yeah, obviously. Well, big thank you to obviously you, Karl, for hosting. Big thanks to Albert and Andy for coming on. I don't think this will be the last I'll see of Albert because obviously Liverpool play Arsenal next weekend, so I'd imagine we'll get a preview at some point, Albert. So we'll get that sorted as well. But Doug F Football channel on YouTube. And I'm here, there, everywhere. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, even TikTok, even Twitch. So yeah, here, there, and everywhere. So yeah, you'll find me everywhere. But no, another very good show, and enjoying doing these. I really am. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug. And for me as well, you can find me at the Totally Leaving Home Football Podcast here on YouTube and also on our podcast platform services. Now we have launched on Amazon Music and we're back on Spotify to do a lot more regular content as well. So, but I'll be back on this weekend on Saturday with the Saturday show at 11 a.m. and then with the Sunday night with the championship review on the third match day of the season as well, with myself and Michael and a few other guests as well. But you can find me at KLHoods92 on Instagram as well if you want to follow me as well. But everyone, thank you for joining us on the first game of review of the Premier League. We'll be back on next Tuesday at 7 p.m. here on both the Dugout Football channel and the Total League channel. But everyone have a good week. We'll take it for now. Bye-bye.